And what is life like for these children at home?
So the life here is very unpredictable and inconsistent. So moms, all the children that come here, their moms work as CSWs, that is commercial sex workers, and because they work through the night, so they don't really have that kind of morning routine that we call for the kids. So the kids will get up, do their own thing, go to the school, come back, and then they just play in the lanes, or they would just hang around on the corners where the moms are standing, but the customers would come.
Okay.
So what the children like to do now is that they come to the center and they spend their days here. So even on holidays, they would just come here, play, watch TV, read books, and do activities. So that's what we do.
So this is a safe space for
Yes,
these
this is
children.
a very safe
Okay.
space for them. 60 children coming to the project every day from the age of 2 till 18. They come in three different batches and three different groups. When we have bigger programs, we have around 200 children whom we serve. This building is divided into two floors. The ground floor is mostly used by the women, and that is where our Saturday church happens. The women come there for prayers, for worship, for counseling, and we also do tailoring classes downstairs.
Okay.
Whereas upstairs, it's more for children to learn about academics, to learn about Bible, to for just a holistic upbringing. Because if they're downstairs, they're still connected to the houses, to the surrounding areas. But when they're here on the first floor, they're much more disconnected, and they find a much happier space, more open space to play and just to explore. And this serves as a great place because then this gives us opportunity to do a lot of Bible acts, like skits that we call, or just perform songs and just worship without disturbing the others. So we have one more floor upstairs, which is the terrace, but it is not covered. So as you can see, this is quite a big area, and if we are able to build a shelter over this area can be utilized much more. That way we can actually have dedicated space for the youth. The garden club can have their own little corner, while we can still use this for various different activities, like teaching the children instruments, hosting Bible studies while for the bigger children while the little ones are playing on the first floor, or have different sorts of interventions, cooking classes, or different vocations that can happen on this floor while the children who are studying downstairs are not disturbed. And then we would also like to hire some really quality staff. If we can have really well educated teachers who would come and teach just various things with good command on subjects. And then we'd also like to get more equipment around here, like printers and laminators. Just be able to get a microwave and just some cooking equipment, which would like cater, because we do lunches for the children, and lunches and snacks just would make it easier for us.
So how is all this funded?
So the children don't pay anything. So they get to study here, they get food here, they get looked after here, and there is staff, and everything is provided for by Blightswood. So Blightswood is our main partner. They are the ones who provide wages, and they help run the center, to maintain the center, and they have been very consistent over the last around 8-9 years. They have been helping us. My ultimate aim for the children, as we believe, is that they should be able to break this cycle of human trafficking and poverty. And we find that it is holistic education and education the only way for them to be able to break this, and for them to know Christ is also a very, very important aspect of Beacon Center. We want them to know Christ. We want them to know that they are loved and they are very, very precious, no matter what goes around them, that they are loved and held close by the God. So these are the things that we really want the children to know.